Let's bring in the Wranglers. On the desk here with me as ever is late debate host Liz.
Ready to wrangle.
Ready to wrangle. And Justin Smith joining us from Melbourne. Why don't we start off, this is a Melbourne story actually, Justin. Let's start off with a little bit of post-Trump cancellation. It's happening already to a singer from a band called the Jezebels. Her name is Hayley Mary, and she dared to post herself in a MAGA hat. Let her tell the story.
I posted about the misinformation bill, which I thought was getting a little bit sneakily put through the Parliament on the day of the Trump election. But I figured to make it more interesting, I would put on a MAGA hat so that it would get some more attention for shock value. I knew this would get me cancelled, but I did it on purpose. And now I am here post-cancellation talking to you.
What was the fallout?
It was everything you would imagine. I probably no longer have a music career in the way that I knew it.
I don't know about Hayley Mary. I say Hail Mary. What a brilliant move. And we need to get everyone out there buying her albums now.
Absolutely. But what does it say about the state of Australia that people were more concerned about the fact that she was wearing a MAGA cap, not concerned about this dystopian bill that our government did indeed push through the House while America was dominating the headlines. Nobody else was interested in any other news. This was a sneaky rat move by the Albanese government.
Absolutely.
And she gets punished for wearing a MAGA cap. I've been wearing one of those since 2016, and I'd hate to think of how many baristas have spat in my coffees. But I tell you what, it also brings out the solid patriots. I've had people stop to let me cross roads. I've had security guards give me a knowing wink. You have people who are, you know, subliminally, we are your tribe, we agree. But of course, it's the nasties who come out with pitchfork sharpened when someone like that just
I've done the same thing. I've been on the same walk in Sydney about 4 years ago during the last election wearing a Biden hat. And everyone wants to be your friend, and then a MAGA hat, and they want to push you off the cliff. It's shocking. I've now got. I did, Justin, wear I've got a collector's item Biden-Harris hat. They're only around for about 3 weeks, and I wore that and posted it on Instagram. And some of our Sky News viewers wanted to lynch me. They thought I was serious. It's already defunct. It's a collector's item. But this is a worry, Justin. Apart from the cancellation as well.
Yes.
The point that Liz makes about this misinformation, disinformation bill. Surely all Australians should be worried about this, and it's one of those issues that you would think would cut right across the political divide. Just as many lefties should be worried about this as those on the right.
And look, we've just got so... I agree with you. We should be far more worried about getting the detail on something like that than someone wearing a bloody hat. We've just got... Honestly, we have just got so serious. We take ourselves so seriously now. And if you believe, let's say you hate Trump, that's fine. You've got all the right in the world to hate Trump. If you're going to go to water and piddle your pants just because someone wears a red hat with some words on it, mate, we are lost. And as far as your hats go, wear anything you like. But I've got to say, I'm sick of that Crows mug on your desk. Can we get rid of that?
The Adelaide Crows
That's
mug.
more offensive than any MAGA cap.
The Adelaide Crows mug, and
offensive.
I'm normally seen out at the kids' sport in my Adelaide Crows hat, and I can tell you, as I always say at this time of the year, we're in for a ripper season next year. Don't you worry about that.
Hope springs eternal.
Now, you've thrown my train of thought. Now I'm starting to think about our recruits and whatnot.
Sorry, mate.
Look,
Sorry.
I want to go to this nanny state thing. You know, I don't smoke. I did smoke casually many years ago, but I don't smoke at all. But I had occasion to buy some cigarettes for a loved one, and do you know how bloody hard it is to get cigarettes? You've got to find a place that sells them, and they got them locked up behind you've always got to ask some criminals to find out where you can buy them.
And then you've got to take out a second mortgage to afford them.
It costs like $50 a pack. And then they have a picture on them of some cancerous face or whatever to try and put you off them.
Yeah.
And now, apparently, beyond that, they're also going to have individual words on each cigarette warning you while you're smoking it that it's a health hazard. This is just nuts, Liz.
I mean, who on earth is going to be dissuaded by this? So in order to reach the point where you're reading a cigarette butt, that's where it's going to be printed, on the cigarette butt, So you'll be having a cigarette, going cross-eyed, being like, wait, what does this say? Also, as if anyone's going to change their mind at that point. They've already spent a house deposit on that pack of cigarettes. They have lit it up. They're just having a good time. And this little message, after they've pressed past the gangrene foot on the packet, or the little baby wearing a respirator mask, or someone who's on death's door saying, this caused me lung cancer, don't do it. They've already pushed past those really harrowing illustrations, and you think a little bit of text on a cigarette butt is going to change their minds.
But Justin, it's given a bureaucrat something to do.
Look, the biggest problem we've got in Melbourne is far from is people smoking. The biggest problem we've got is people setting fires to convenience stores and tobacconists. We've had, 116 fires since March of last year because of the black market trade here, and the government was, so slow in implementing penalties that might, pull this up. It's just, that's the disaster we've got with smoking in Melbourne at the moment.
Let's go back to the US and talk about Elon Musk, the richest man in the world, incredibly successful and in many ways brilliant businessman, of course, some of his ventures. Now he's going to lead like a cost-cutting mission to shrink the bureaucracy. Here he is on Twitter saying that it's no threat to democracy, it's a threat to bureaucracy. This is fascinating, Justin. No matter what you think of Musk himself, do you think he's going to have much success?
Look, well, so, look, my first impression is it's going to end in tears. We've got two giant egos, one giant ego that has appointed another giant ego, and giant ego number one doesn't like it when he gets outshined by other people, and giant ego number two loves to outshine people. So I would suggest, let's talk in 6 months down the track and see how this cuddly and lovely relationship is faring.
That's utter nonsense. It's got nothing to do with ego. It's got everything to do with government efficiency.
Everything's got something to do with
Elon Musk, when he took over Twitter, fired 90% of the employees there, and Twitter has never worked better. So this guy has form when it comes to cutting the fat, and America desperately needs this. The bureaucracy has grown exponentially during the Biden administration. Vivek Ramaswamy, who's going to be Elon's right-hand man, tweeted over a year ago saying, day one, you just take everyone whose social security number ends in an odd number, fire them, you've got rid of 50%, then you take those who remain and fire 50% of those. And everyone's thinking, okay, well, now that you've got a job, he'll take it back.
But instead,
he doubled down today. No, they're not livelihoods if they are simply mooching off the taxpayer dollar and doing absolutely nothing.
It ain't going to happen like that. It
ain't three mooches.
Well, we'll go down to the local department, we'll work that out. But the point is, I think if they try and do that sort of thing, it's just going to be madness. The other point I think is if you're a Tesla,
pulled it off beautifully.
If you're a Tesla shareholder, how do you feel about the bloke who's supposed to be running the company now trying to run the federal bureaucracy? And is he going to sit around smoking dope while he's doing this with Joe Rogan?
It's not a full-time job. It is something that he's going to oversee. Elon Musk oversees several of his own businesses.
Picking out social security
numbers. This guy is legitimately a genius, and he knows how to do this kind of thing. Look how effectively he did it with his own company.
Yeah, it's a bit different dealing with the bureaucracy than your own company. But we will see.
I'm sure it's going to be up against it, but
it'll be amazing to watch. I think it's going to be absolutely spectacular to watch. Just quickly, there is a president. There is currently a president of the US. His name is Joe Biden, and look at him have a crack with an image of violence against a female reporter.
President Biden, do you think that you can get a hostage deal by the end of your term?
You think you can get hit in the head by a camera behind you?
Serious question about Israel and hostages, and he talks about a camera bashing her in the back of the head. Justin, if he was a Conservative MP, people would be politicians, people would be calling for him to resign.
Oh, Joe's done, I think, isn't he? I think
that was... He's tapped out.
That was a pretty awful answer. Pretty awful answer. But you can't call any president lame duck because they've still got their finger on the button. They still know the codes. While they're still in that job, you can't call them a lame duck. He certainly needs to do a hell of a lot better than that, honestly. I agree with you.
Two points on that. I think Joe Biden doesn't know the codes, and I think he knows where the button is, but he's got to shuffle over to it.
He's got the codes.
So we've got a bit of extra time. He's got the codes. Thanks for joining us, Justin and Liz.
Thanks.
We are right out of time.